pre-show festivities begin, what I normally do is I prepare myself for the Facebook notes, right? So I open up our Facebook, page. I start dialing up what I assume we're going to talk about on the wikis, and I start cutting and pasting into the notes so that 6 months from now, when we release this episode, I can just go back. I don't have to remember what we talked about.
That's right.
And so I open up Facebook, and the first thing I see is Ken Gregory playing a song on Facebook, a little video.
What?
And I'm sort of, I'm conflicted right now between continuing on or accidentally pretending like my Skype link broke and going to listen to the song right now.
Oh, so is that what you were doing right before this, Ken? You were doing a song on there? Oh, I missed it. Fuck.
I skipped my Palaver homework and I just screwed around.
I'm gonna share this to our Facebook page, the Progressive Palaver Facebook page, Ken. And what's brilliant about it is that you got the computer in the background, and I can see your dartboard in the background too.
And the apples in the foreground.
And the apple, yes.
The apples are germane to the song.
I can hear it. Okay. So we can check another thing off of the Progressive Palaver 2020 list. We've now initiated our own watch party on Facebook. Thanks to Ken.
Nice.
We are doing well. Hey Paul, how any views on our pre-shows or no?
There have been views on the pre-show. I haven't checked in a while. Let me check real quick. Oh wait, Progressive Palaver is already in the search menu. Let's see. Episode 1 has gotten a whopping 12 views. That's good. And
pretty solid.
I don't see our second episode. What is going on here? Oh, I'm sorry. It's actually our second episode has received 12 views. Our first episode received a whopping 16 views.
16. Okay, so that's it's about what, one a day maybe, or a little more than?
It's probably me checking it 5 times to make sure that it was still up. And all right, so the pre-show is off to a, shall we say, a soft launch, I guess.
Need to figure out how we gain some traction on the pre-show.
Well, yeah, it just goes to show you that our audience is like they like their podcasts in their podcast realm. They don't really care about
and
YouTube.
honestly, we haven't really promoted it in show, so I think we need to self-promote.
It's funny, like every couple months, and I say more like every 3 or 4 months, I'll actually go on YouTube and look up those ad videos that I did for those Brilliant and whatever. And I'm thinking like, okay, it's got to be at least a couple hundred by now. And it's like one more than it was 4 months ago when I checked it. Like each one of those is like, maybe have like 50 on one of them. And then like 4 months later, I'll check and it'll be like 51.
Well, I'll say this, Tom, the Progressive Palaver podcast trailer for the Rush episodes. 61 episodes.
Oh, whoa!
It's one of our it's outdone the Progressive Palaver 101.
Oh, okay.
Which is the original YouTube post with the beardless Joe Beauclair.
Oh.
Yeah, Progressive Palaver 101 was put there on the advice of the girl I was seeing, and I've never been entirely comfortable with that.
Well, there's a couple of great moments in that video where like you start like scratching your nose and like like you're like really just close to doing some nose diving there to mine something out of there. It's pretty funny. Our greatest YouTube posting, if you can believe this, 2,400 views, is the Lee Pomeroy bass solo from Yes featuring ARW.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, it's original content. It may not be entirely legal, but it's original content.
There you go. And coming in at a close second at 709 views is Rick Wakeman tells a joke at the ARW show. There is just quality stuff that people may be missing at the on the YouTube.
Wow. Well, Lee Pomeroy is amazing. Just a side note, his work with Steve Hackey. You can catch some of that stuff on YouTube's. It's absolutely wonderful. And Josh Reingold was amazing too. But just seeing Lee there and knowing that he has the Yes Association gives me a bundle of joy.
Yeah, he's something else, and Toto as well. Or not Toto.
ELO.
ELO, yeah.
Yeah, the fact that when I saw him there, I'm like, what's Lee Pomeroy doing here? Because as I said in that episode, Lee Pomeroy didn't need to be there. I was very happy to have him there.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
You know, there was nothing in that set that required his particular skill set.
So one of the things that I like about the pre-show is it can sometimes highlight some of the things that are happening in real time. Even though I'm not putting these episodes out very quickly, so it's not really happening. But Ken, out of nowhere, dropped a video on our group chat over the weekend of and I just lost it now because I was looking up our own videos of the Siberium.
You know what this means now? You are a Siberio.
Is that what I am now?
You are now a Siberio. Yes, it's kind of like you're initiated.
Well, okay.
And this may be two first because now we're also talking. We're gonna have a pre-show of us talking about the pre-show.
It's the pre-show this time. So Ken, you posted that, and I had missed it, and Joe made a comment, and I went back, and it's an hour and 25-minute full concert that they did, and I've been sort of watching it piece by piece, listening to it a little bit at night, and I'm digging it. And what's so funny is I like Joe commented on the video, I spent a good chunk of the first song waiting to see who was going to come out and take center stage, and found out that nobody does. That they all have their spots on the stage and they all just happily stay there, and they leave kind of the center stage wide open.
I mean, when was the last time you saw a lead guitarist / vocalist standing on a box in the back of the stage?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he doesn't even give himself a full riser. It's a box. He can't go anywhere.
It's the John Anderson shtick, but on a box in the back of the stage.
But John's not in the back of the stage. John's front and center, man.
Yeah, when they first started, I thought he was like the Billy Sherwood of the band, like the intricate person that had to be there, but they just wanted to keep him in the back. Then he started singing, and I was like, wow. I was like, I can't wait to see like when the lead singer comes out and starts singing, because that person's going to be freaking awesome. And then it just continued, and I was like, all right. So I don't want to be distracted by the unusual stage, because I'm finding the music to be very interesting, very interesting. I'm digging the Porcupine Tree, Muse kind of influence, sort of modern sound.
Yes.
So. And did you see them at Prog Stock, Ken?
Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Their grand finale is a tune called The Butterfly Effect, which is probably their longest tune. Perfectly orchestrated to video. Very serious business. I would check that out if it's in there. I think.
Yeah, I haven't gotten all the way to the end, but I've enjoyed what I've watched so far. It's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if we've ever talked about it, but Paul, you mentioned Muse, right?
Yeah.
I didn't, and I don't know if we've ever talked about this on air or not, but years ago, somehow I wound up with tickets to see Muse, and I don't even know really why I bought them, but it was one of those things where I was seeing someone and maybe I bought them because she wanted to go, and then we broke up, and then I had these tickets and I couldn't get rid of them, and no one would take them. And I wound up going with some girl I didn't really want to go with, but I was like, whatever. And so I went to the show, and I was really not in a very good mood, and I didn't really care, and I was kind of just pissed off at everything. And it was hands down one of the best shows I've ever seen. I had no idea that Muse was capable of putting on such an engaging show, both musically and visually. I was just enthralled. It was great. I was totally amazed by that.
And it's just 3 human beings and maybe a couple of computers, right? I mean, yeah, that's impressive. Matthew Bellamy. Tom, what's your take on Muse?
I mean, everything I've heard, I liked. I have not pursued them in depth. So now that I have these great testimonials from you guys, I'll dive in. Muse is one of those names you hear about all the time, and I think I may have heard it too many times. I was like, well, since everyone's talking about it, it can't be good. But so I've succumbed to my own idiocy. So maybe I'll check them out.
And I threw in Muse because I thought the Siberian deserves that parallel, but the core rhythms and intensity I attribute more to Tool. Did you agree? Did you catch some of that vibe?
Yeah, I would say that too. Somewhere between the Tool, Muse, and Porcupine Tree is kind of where of course, I could just be saying that because I've been listening to Porcupine Tree a lot, but I kind of felt that all kind of coming together like that.
Didn't we talk about this a while ago on text, and Colby brought up some of like the later stuff, and I guess the later stuff isn't as good, and you guys were agreeing
of Muse?
Yeah.
I lean more towards the older Muse, yeah.
Okay. What's a
in
good
in more ways than one?
Oh, what's a good album that I should start on?
The one with Supermassive Black Hole is my favorite, I think.
Okay.
Oh, you know what else I need to share with you guys if you haven't checked it out? During this quarantine, if you want to call it that, Devin Townsend has been releasing a YouTube video like every day or every other day. He's released like 10 videos now on his YouTube channel, and every day it's something different. I think one day he actually just wrote a song in the studio, like spent the whole day and it's just this dreamy, ethereal, wonderful. Another day he was doing like a puppet show with his like Ziltoid character. But he's been doing all these different things, and he's been pulling out like live stuff from like his one of his acts that he was doing. He pulled out a song that he wrote but didn't make this last album, and he did a remix of it and he put it up. And he's basically just making videos out of, by using stock video stuff. Some of the stuff is just terrific. It's like the perfect thing. Like when you're going to bed and you just you open up YouTube and you just find whatever it is he did that day and listen to it. Sometimes it's a little heavy, but sometimes it's just pure like bliss. It's just wonderful. So Devin Townsend, lighten up YouTube during this crazy time that we're living through. It's pretty awesome. Check it out.
Cool. I actually took part in a live stream from Jimmy Keegan, Spock's Beard drummer, 3.2 drummer. He signed up with the Prog folks that do the Union County theater stuff, Tom and Ann, and they're supporting something with these live feeds. And on Sunday, Jimmy was just brilliant. He did, I thought it was going to be Pattern Seeking Animals, his new project, but I think it went back before that to his solo work and stuff that he did with Ted Leonard of Spock's Beard. And the one that I love is Bennett Built a Time Machine. And when he actually played that, I freaked out because he was using the actual studio tracks, but he was like in his garage playing the drums. So it was like live drums with all the professional backgrounds. And he actually on the album, that's the only Spock's Beard song where Jimmy sings lead, is Bennett Built a Time Machine. And that is the first slot in my running playlist. Something about that song gets me really pumped up.
Nice. Do you know what album that is, Ken, of Spock's Beard?
I think it's their last one, or
really?
Second to last.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've listened to a couple of their albums, and I'm never sure of where I should start, so I'm going to check out that one.
Yeah, we're going to have to do Spock's at some point. Even if we just condense multiple albums into 2 or 3 episodes. I mean, they're just so pivotal as being, I would say, the West Coast rendition of neo-prog, and they actually have a great kind of tongue-in-cheek way of doing it. Kind of started as more of just a crazy expression instead of a totally serious band. I dig them. So, hey guys, this is my first Palaver participation with a condenser mic.
I see that.
All right. Is that what that little fuzzy thing hanging out your shirt is?
Is it any different than the cheap one?
It feels good.
Audio-wise?
It feels natural. It feels natural to me. The other one is sometimes sounds like, you're on a Skype meeting at work. So I kind of dig this one.
Okay, I'll stick with it.
It sounds good.
Cool.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Shall we get this done?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. On this episode.